Let's see. Cool. Greetings, my friends. We're live. This is the huge live stream, and we're in the middle of our speaker series, and we're introducing our speakers, people that are going to be speaking at the huge convention this year in August, which is, by the way, 4 weeks from today is when we kick off the main stage. And we've got Alexander with us. It is Alexander Bonilla-Harris. Is the middle name's off for me? Is that right?
But no, you have it more or less correct. Alexander Bonilla-Harris. Alex is much easier for most everyone.
Okay, what's your back? So you rolled the L's like Spanish. So what's the heritage of Bonilla?
My dad is from New York City. My mother is from Jerez, Zacatecas in Mexico.
Okay. And Perez de Azteca, I have no geographical sense of where that is. I want to say South Central, but I don't know.
No, but more or less. I mean, it is in Mexico. That's the easiest way I can explain it.
Well, okay, so it's funny, like when you go, it's in Mexico. It's kind of ridiculous. Most, I'm going to generalize here. Most North American or USA folks don't have a great grasp of geography outside of the United States.
Yes.
And you go, and Mexico's a vast country and beautiful.
No, honestly, truly. I find that I've only been a handful of times. Went once to visit with family, another time to visit with my now partner. And she and I had a great time. But Zacatecas is like essentially right in the middle of Mexico. Definitely a really, really cool area. Would 100% recommend it. It's like one of the states of Mexico, for lack of a better term. And then my mom in particular is from a small town called Jerez, which is ironic considering my last name is Harris.
Harris. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So you were just saying a minute ago, you've lived on all three coasts.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Tell everybody what that means. And then we're going to start talking about business.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you have me for as long as you need me, friend. I'm born and raised in essentially the Los Angeles area. If you know Los Angeles, I'm from the San Fernando Valley in a little place called Northridge. I was very fortunate to spend a lot of time in New York earlier in my career. So essentially cut my teeth in that on that coast. Now I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is right on the border of one of the biggest, best lakes in America. So we call it the third coast. So I am blessed enough to have lived on 3 coasts in America.
There you go. All right, cool. So I went to school in Austin, Texas, and
right on.
when the film industry was just beginning to bubble up, there I was in radio, television, film production, and people started calling Austin Third Coast, and there was Third Coast film production and Third Coast music and stuff like that. But I don't think it ever caught there. No, I think South by Southwest buried anything referenced as Third Coast.
Honestly, I find that especially with my travels in the States, there are so many cool cities and states and parts of the U.S. Like it's hard to narrow it down to be like, okay, we have the one coast and the other coast, and then everywhere else in between. There's too much cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Alexander, you're gonna be teaching at the huge convention this year.
Yes,
a breakout session, and so I didn't give you a proper introduction. Alexander, for those joining us live and for those who are watching later, is you're the director of partnerships at NiceJob. And NiceJob's been a part of the huge convention for the past 5 years, maybe longer. Maybe that's where I first heard of NiceJob. So how long have you been with the company?
Also, you'll be surprised about this. I'm relatively new myself. I'm about 2 months into this new role. My entire background has been in partnerships in the essentially the marketing of the technology space. So it was a really natural fit for me personally. And I have been, let's just say, welcomed with open arms to the NiceJob team. I'm very stoked to be here today talking to you and talking to the people at Huge.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, going back, this is going to sound like I'm patting myself on the back. It's not the point, but NiceJob. I've been with NiceJob at least 7 years. Maybe it's been longer, but I think I was the first. I posted the first video review for NiceJob.
Really?
Back in the day, standing in front of one of our, like, we've recycled all the old vans. I was standing in front of one that we now lovingly refer to as Big Whitey the Junkie.
Oh, jeez.
It was this giant Dodge van, and our logo and our lettering was awful. And it's like when you bootstrap, you start where you are and you start to improve. And that's what we did. And I thought it was really great that we actually had a sign on the side of the van. It was awful, but Big Whitey the Junkie, we just called it Big Whitey and it was a junkie van. But anyway, things are better now.
First of all, glad to hear things are better. Second of all, we love people who bootstrap. I mean, that's the entire premise behind NiceJob. We support solopreneurs, people that are either just starting out or in like the smaller business space. So you are well within our wheelhouse, especially given the history.
Cool. Very cool. Well, as speaking of coming a long way since then. So we 7 years ago was like, we've got to get more reviews than anybody. Like that was the thought. And so we started putting a lot of attention on reviews. They found a NiceJob that helps to automate and increase that percentage. So I'm in a small marketplace. I'm in a town of like 70,000, and there are a dozen window cleaning company, 18 actually in our area. So it seems like a lot of competition, but the way it stacks up now, we push reviews every May. We have a review contest with our team. The top dog review getter gets $500 and blah, 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 blah. We still use NiceJob. We've added 100 new reviews this year. We just topped 660 reviews for our little company in a little town. And our closest review competitor just got their 100th review. So we've always tried to be like, our goal for a long time, was like, we're going to have 10 times more reviews than the next guy, because network effect. And that's building a moat around our company. So I just made this all about me, and that wasn't the point also, but here we go. What I want to ask you is like, what do people, I mean, here's a question that I hear is like, people go, yeah, I'll just ask for reviews. Why do I need a software to help me do that? That's just one more subscription. And I go, okay, there's a big reason. Why don't I ask you that question? What do you tell people why they need review software, and of course why they need more reviews?
Seems of course. I mean, why get a computer when you can have a printing press? Of course, there are always options for us to do anything. I say this actually a lot when I'm training people. You can do 100% of the NiceJob flow entirely manually, but why would we want to do that? We live in a world with automation. We live in a world of more advanced workflows and technology, so that teams, like hopefully the people that are listening to us right now, can actually focus on the things that they want to do. We want, like I said, we want you to be out cleaning more windows, doing more services for the people. If you have to spend your time constantly going after people saying, hey, please review for us, hey, please review for us, you'll either find it annoying if you're constantly manually repeating it and sending to them in that facet, or you're not going to be getting the same amount of reviews because you'll ask them once and then they may or may not, and that's it. By automating this, putting this in a platform, it does help. It just saves time.
It saves a ton of time. I mean, I'm probably a great person to talk about NiceJob because I've used the company for so long, and I haven't utilized everything that NiceJob does, but just heavily focused on the review aspect because, like I said, it automates that and it keeps track of stuff. And I don't like keeping track of a lot of things. I've got other stuff to do, but it just like boop, boop, boop. And so I post a review. They're like, stop sending a message. We're all good.
Yeah. So I mean, go ahead.
It's you.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, you're speaking from the mound right now for me, so I really, really appreciate that. There's, I mean, just so many different cool little things that the platform does. Like I said, you can theoretically do all of this stuff manually, but the effort and level to do it is, it doesn't necessarily return the same ROI. And then when you look at some of the more additional features, like being able to send out referrals, custom referral links, even for your individual clients to give out to other people. So imagine, Sid, if somebody was saying, okay, look, we had this really, really good cleaning service. They came through. They did an amazing job. Oh, who are they? They're so-and-so company. And not only am I telling you about this, here's their referral link because I love them so much and they told me I can hand this out to anybody. So there are various different tools within the platform itself. And that's going to be a big component of my presentation at Huge, is going step by step on what that flow looks like, talking about various different workflows depending on the current tech stack that the various different teams already have on site. And if you have even no tech stack, how do you even get started with something like a NiceJob? And maybe you just have a Google review site and maybe cool Gmail account set up. So this will be approachable from multiple different angles. So no matter how or where you're at in your technology journey, we'll be able to accommodate and hopefully educate.
Yeah, very good. And I love the title of what you're going to teach was leverage online reputation to build trust and get more customers, basically. And it's like, so here's the thing that I really want you to dig into and talk about. And this is this, for starters. In a digital world, how do people build trust? Because it's been taught for hundreds of years, probably, but all of the last 100 years, the sales methodology and business things is people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And that's more critical than the price you charge, than the car you drive, or anything else. Like, if they trust you, they want to do business with you. So how do we how do we hack the trust building aspect when it's not all hand to hand, shake your hand, talk on the phone, I met you at your front door? People like to book stuff online, that click, click. Now, how do we do that? How do we build that?
No, definitely. And like you raise a really, really good point here. Word of mouth is the number. Like you can't buy that. You can't pay for it. You can't do anything of that. True, genuine word of mouth. Somebody telling you to somebody else that this was just a good service. The best kind of advertisement. So if we take a step back and we look at how a lot of companies work, let's say 150 years ago, a lot of that direct communication, a lot of building out your community, your region. Then we come in the advent of a lot more modern advertisements. We got constant radio ads, you got TV ads, we have all these new vectors to get your name out there. And now we have been so saturated now with the invention of the internet, with all the various different ways that we can reach out and touch people. We are now like, okay, there's too much out there. We need to go back and find something that we can trust. And that's now, again, horseshoed back into reviews, which are essentially the modern day word of mouth. So when you go on, I actually literally did this recently. I was looking for an accountant. I'm for everybody. Like I mentioned, I'm in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. So I Google searched, accountants near me in Milwaukee. I go and do the list. I, of course, see somebody with phenomenal reviews. They're like the first person that comes up, not the sponsored one, the first genuine, real thing. And that's going to be a separate component of my piece about SEO. That was my big driver of why I chose that. It was the first thing that came up. I saw them. They had really great photos. They looked like they knew what they were doing, and I'm working with them. So that word of mouth, rather than me going to all my friends in the area or me walking around the local downtown looking for a accountant with a cool fun sign, has now just been digitized. We even like to say, when you're going online and searching, especially on Google, you can envision that almost as like walking down Main Street and attempting to pick out the best store, the best selection. You're looking at signs, you're looking at advertisements, but then you're also going in your local Main Street, knowing what your other friends have told you, or just knowing what the zeitgeist is of the area. If there's a great restaurant, people will probably have talked about it. There's a great home service, people have probably talked about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like the whole thing with Google search and the 3-pack on the GMB is, I mean, that is the new currency for a home service
100%.
business. Like, I
100%.
feel like if you're not there, you don't exist. But even if you manage to get there and you've got 8 reviews and somebody else has 80, you're like, sorry, I'm just not calling the guy with 8. I might call him second.
You know what's even crazier, especially with the way that the Google Map app works? If the person with 8 had more recent and more positive reviews, they may actually show up first rather than the person with 80 reviews from like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Really?
So it's not even just a matter of like, it's insane. It's not even a matter of like how much volume-wise you're getting. It's relevancy, recency, and velocity. So when Google's actually putting that Google 3 Map Pack together, they're considering all 3 of those features.
Wow. Okay, I have to write that down. Relevancy, recency, and velocity.
Yes,
velocity,
friend.
recent. See, I can't spell today, but velocity.
I rarely can. That's why I use ChatGPT.
I know it. Okay, so that's a whole different topic. But I go, 40 years from now, will anyone be able to write?
Oh
like
gosh,
actually write, or like cognitively, like think clearly and critical think and write and put together a point and an argument? Because I lean way heavily on the GPT, man.
I have so many thoughts on this. I'm still from the group that grew up with pen and pad, and I learned cursive. I still write in cursive to this day, so I don't know if I'm dating myself or not, but I'm part of that generation. It's just going to be different. Who knows how ChatGPT is going to look and what it's going to change in the next 30 or 40 years. Much the same as the like printing press, internet, automobile. Hopefully, it's going to be cool. We'll see.
Yeah. I hope it's cool. It's already so far pretty darn cool. In amazingness. All right, so I know NiceJob has a big array of tools, or a larger array. They're not just a review company.
Correct.
You mentioned, I want you to like dip into it and tell me a little more how it works. You said you can set up a custom referral link that people can give to others to refer business to you. I actually was not aware of that, even though I've been using NiceJob for 7 years. I just have it all set up for reviews, and I'm like, we're good. So apparently there's more I can do.
Huge. Oh, come to our booth at Huge. I will show you so much, Sid. But when let's go through like a super basic flow. Let's just say you completed a service. One of your techs is on site. He says, "Hey, thanks. If you really, really enjoyed what we did today, we're going to be sending you an SMS that's going to ask for a review. More than likely, that'll go out right after he finishes that via some kind of integration, depending on whether they're using a CRM or other tool.
Mhm.
So that goes out to them. Let's say they ignore that SMS. Maybe a week later, they get an email. Week later, they get another, and then they get a fourth, so or a third email. So 4 touch points in total. We found that mathematically, that with the fourth touch point will actually yield you the best results. So it'll
Wow.
look like maybe 13% response rate, 9%, 6%, 18% response rate on that fourth.
Really?
Um, it
That's
surprisingly
unexpected.
so. Rather, we've done a bunch of studies on it internally, and it works. It's something about the human consciousness, and like I think a little bit of separation from the service, and then being reminded of what a good job had happened, which is
Yeah.
also why you should include pictures in that request as well of the services done. It just significantly helps. So not only have you sent out that review automatically, you've gotten it after hitting them 2, 3, 4 times potentially. Right after that, the platform can automatically distribute that across a bunch of different sites. So that'll go on Google Review, Facebook. It could be added to your personal website. It could be anywhere that a review can appear, G2, tons of places, depending on the particular industry we're talking about. And then we
Mhm.
go into that deeper next level stuff that you're kind of alluding to. We can send unique referral codes to individual clients and that they can use ad nauseum to go out and refer your business further. So again, one more way they're becoming essentially your sales team.
Yeah.
Additionally, we have a leaderboard. So let's say, Sid, you got 10 texts that go out. You can, using AI, we essentially map out who's being mentioned in reviews, and we can attribute that to the individual tech themselves. So you can run spiffs for your team. You can have them, like you said, make it a competition, so on and so forth. And
Yeah.
then we have obviously the outgoing campaigns. So every time you get a review, that is essentially a customer story that you can repackage and send out to various other people. That can be, hey, come do our service again, or hey, here is where we're at. I'm gonna blast this out to a bunch of let's just say customers that you touched a year ago. I'm gonna try to get some repeat business. So there's all these little features that just go off in the background of the NiceJob platform. The
Mhm.
only thing necessarily that you have to do is essentially ask for that initial review or upload that via various integrations that we have. So if you have people that use, let's say, Jobber, Field Pulse, there's tons of different things I can mention there. That'll
Yeah.
all happen automatically after a job is completed.
Okay. One sec. So with the review link, can I grab a customer referral link from, let's say, Billy Thornton, Billy Bob gives me a nice review. I mean, we've been emailing him. Fourth one, he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to give this guy a review." Does it auto generate that link then, and then send him a set up where then it starts messaging him and say, "Hey, refer your friends," or
No, that'll be a follow up campaign. So you can
okay,
essentially, and again, this will all be automated, but you can put people in that campaign to say, hey, you want to refer people, and then they'll respond and say yes, and then that will then be generated from that. So it is an opt in. You're not going to automatically be sending people or harassing them. But again, because we've done such a great job, and because you're reminding them of that great job, they're more than likely to not only say yes, but then also say, hey, I know a buddy who needs XYZ services. Let's go tell them about it.
yeah, okay, cool. Could I generate them in bulk? And let's say, like through my integration with Java or something, I go, let me take the last 50 people we did work for, and then send them all. You want to be a refer? Here's your link. Send this out and give them some use cases, and then recruit an army.
Correct. I mean, like if you're familiar, you're obviously very familiar with our platform. It's exactly the same as putting people on a review flow. It's the
Okay.
exact same concept.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, and I didn't know that. And I'm excited. All right. You touched on it very briefly. Um, is what's the benefit to having somebody when they post a review put a photo in it?
So there's a couple different benefits. There's the brass tacks of how Google works. So that it essentially directly contributes to your SEO. In addition to the velocity, recency, relevancy of the reviews, there are other secondary and tertiary things that Google is using to make those decisions. Photos is one of those things. When you have good, relevant, engaging photos, that will also surface reviews firstly. So if you are prompting a review. Let's say you finish a job, tech takes a photo, that photo gets sent out on that review request. That will, one, make people more likely to actually submit that review. And then two, once that review is out there, becomes more appealing and more attracting to somebody like myself who's looking for those services as well.
Okay. And I'm going to flip on my light because we just had a big cloud go over.
Go for it. It is way too sunny over here. It's 93 Fahrenheit right now in Milwaukee. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad they make a lot of cold beer in Milwaukee because that's a hot day. Do you know with the way, so if somebody posts a review and it's got a photo in it, the way that Google handles that photo and it helps buoy your SEO, does it, do you know if it reads the geodata on the photo that's like this? If we go, great review from Alexander in Milwaukee, and you post a photo that's from Milwaukee, does that also boost it?
Most likely. I mean, this now gets under the hood of like Google's engine and how they do things. So I only know maybe, let's say, 1 or 2 levels deep. That might be 4 or 5 levels deeper, specifically with geolocation. But I know it does contribute. So putting on the photos, especially if they're relevant and in location, it can only help.
Okay. Yeah. I've always, this may not even be true, but I always feel like there's like just a little bit of secret sauce that nobody talks about. That's like 3 layers down. You go, if you just do this one thing, it's a hack. And this is probably not true because there's no real hack when you go to the gym. It's like, here's the hack going to the gym, work out 5 times a week for 3 years. And then suddenly you're like, then you're buff and people notice. But 2 years of grinding.
Hack is just do it.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Hack is consistency. So consistency.
Which is, and again, you raise up. I'm so happy that you said it like that. The hack is consistency. Like that is all about what the platform is attempting to promote. If you're consistently asking for that, like I said, you can do all this completely manual. If you're doing it consistently, you're probably going to be able to do it. It'll be a pain to do it manually, but again, I always tell people, even if you don't go with NiceJob, you have to be asking for a review after every single service. It can only help your business.
Yeah, it only helps. And so here's how we handle it. So we used NiceJob for a long time, and we had a certain percentage of people would post a review, even though we were there for everybody, and everybody got the email. But I was like, in my head, I'm like, we're not getting enough reviews. If we do 50 jobs, we should at least get 20 reviews out of that deal. Maybe 40. Like it's just not happening. But we were getting 3 out of 50, and so we just instituted a simple, like with our training, we go, when we book the job, our Emily says, okay, you're all booked for Thursday the 14th. And our goal when we get there is to do such a great job, we earn your 5-star review. Does that sound good? And they go, yeah. So we just plant a seed. And when the techs get to the door to introduce themselves, they go, our goal today is to do such a great job that we earn your 5-star review and you want to tell all your neighbors about us. Sound good? And they go, yeah. Then at the end, when we're finished, we go, is everything look great? Would you like to take a walk around? No, it's fine. You did a great job. Cool. Remember when we started, I said, we want to earn your 5-star review. How did we do? Did we get it or can we improve? And then people are like, oh, you earned it. And then they're like, they can't not leave a review because they've committed to it by saying, no, you were great. And we go, cool. I'm going to text you a link. All you have to do is tap a button. It'll take you 30 seconds. I really appreciate it. And then we have one guy, he gets more reviews than anybody, and he pulls a straight Columbo. Remember Columbo? So you said cursive. I'm going back a generation before that with Columbo, the sitcom or the cop show. And he would like do us questioning, then he would leave. And on his way out the door, he's about to go and he'd turn around and he goes, oh, by the way. And he'd ask one more question. That's where he always got him. So our guy Cole, we're like, everything's done. And he goes, and he's like, oh, by the way, if you put my name in the review, my boss gives me an extra $10 and I could really use it. And everybody wants to help the tech versus the rich boss.
Yes.
And like, whoop, we get so many.
Yes. I want to make every single one of anybody on this call right now, anybody viewing the recording, you and your team can all be Cole. We can make that happen. 1, through the methodology, and then 2, through automation. But again, you're touching on something that's incredibly important here. Putting on that personal touch is, and this is not anything obvious that I'm saying, we're all in service-based organizations, service-based industries. Our whole point is to make people happy and to legitimately do a good job. That's why we wake up and do the things we do every single day. So being able to tell those stories can only be useful for your companies in particular. And then putting on that extra personal touch of like, yeah, it's not Washer Incorporated, it's Alex, the tech, and I personally will benefit from you, and I want to do a good job for you, Sid. That's everything at the core of what NiceJob was all about, and hopefully people see the benefit of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. We need an army of Coles out there working for her every day.
Amen, amen, brother. Yes.
Okay, so we suck at our social media. Like I just don't post enough. I was looking back over my Facebook or our Facebook, and was like, I know we put some stuff up there. This was a year ago, and every single post, like 40 in a row, was another great review. It was not, everything was automated from NiceJob. I was like, we got to put some content on here because we've got 40 in a row that's the same, great review. The review is different, but the image is the same. I was like, oh, wow. I don't know if that looks good or looks bad, but you also helped us step up our social media game because we're like, we got so many of these, we got to put some variety in there.
No, and that's the combination of like photos, the various different strategies for telling people what they should specifically be putting in those reviews. All of that can help and be changed. I think the most important part when it comes to the social media strategy is just, again, the consistency of it. So even if you're putting just that another review come in, if you see 40 back-to-back 5-star reviews, that's going to put something in somebody's head. And if you add those photos on, if you narrativize those, then those become full posts, full sequences, and then you can take those, put them everywhere, put them on your website, put them on, start an Instagram. Why not? Who knows if it'll work, but it'll be automated.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the widget is through NiceJob or through our web.
It's the NiceJob widget.
Okay. So yeah, because at the bottom, on our website, the freshest reviews are always there, the most recent 3. If we get a new review today, boop, they're there. I don't know if we can scroll them or not, but it's great to have that automatically added for social proof as well.
Exactly. No, I think the social proofing is when that actually appears, there's a couple different ways. There is a small corner pop-up that shows like, oh, I just got a new review. If you go on the NiceJob website, you can see it in our bottom or left-hand corner. Anytime somebody leaves a new review, it'll appear on the site as like a, hey, Alex just left a review or Sid just left a review. And then the second thing that you were kind of speaking to was that carousel of reviews they can put on your site. What's better than showing a bunch of really good jobs with really nice pictures with a bunch of really happy people saying that you did a darn good job? That's essentially what that whole carousel will constantly say. And more than likely when we go on your site, that's probably what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to sound redundant, but I would love for you to talk about so most guys in business, they're looking for, I need more business. I need more customers. I need more leads. I want to grow. Either if their calendar is full, I'm going to hire somebody and now I need more customers, or if the calendar is not full, I need more. It's one of the perennial problems. And so what's the value of a review? On the surface, everybody goes, well, if you get more reviews, more people are going to call you. Go deeper into the psychological value of a review.
Yeah, it really comes down to buying behavior of modern consumers. When you look at reviews, I think it's like 90. Actually, I think I have the stats here. We have figures around all of this because it is insane what a review. 90% or 98% of consumers read online reviews. 68.7 of all clicks on Google will be captured by those top 3 map packs. And only, I think it's like 86% of people will actually leave a review for you, but only I think it's 12 or 13% of companies will actually take the step to reach out, ask, and request for those reviews. So when you look at all of those disparities, one more I can even throw out there. I think only 58% of customers would use a company that's 3 stars or under, whereas that jumps to 96% if you have 4 stars and above. So even that 1-star difference makes a radical. It is insane what even a 1-star difference will do to the ROI of a review. And again, relevancy, recency, velocity, it'll show up, it'll appear, and when people see that, they can't help but think about that horseshoe, that I have my friend telling me right now that this is a good service, even though it's a person 1,000 miles away, or let's say somebody across the country who's just used the national service, whatever it might be. But I trust that person because it's a real person.
Yeah. Interesting. So this baffles me. And in our marketplace, we go like, who are all of the competition? There are 18 window cleaner companies that pop up when you Google it in my town. And of the 18, 5 do not have a website. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. And then of that, 6 of them do not have a single review, 6 additional to that. So there are, did I just do the math right? So 5, 11, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are 9 companies out of 18. No, 7 out of 18. They even have reviews. And I go, that's the easiest freaking thing you can do. Why aren't you just doing it?
I mean, a website especially can even be like, we have tools. We have so many like build it, do yourself tools for websites. But it can still be difficult. NiceJob has actually this feature. It's a smaller component of our business, but we do like to talk about it. They're essentially microsites that you can build out for like landing pages, essentially, that can act as lead generators as well.
Wow.
So if it's a little prohibitive to set up your own website, go through that effort, let's say you bootstrapped your company and you were just on fire, you're constantly doing business, you don't even need a website for some reason, you can use one of those NiceJob microsites, put it up in probably 15 minutes, and then boom, bam, you have an online presence that you can attach to your Google business, and that'll increase that overall SEO as well.
Man, that's great. You just make it easy. Just make it easy.
We try, friend. We try.
Man, that's gold. Well, how long has NiceJob been in business?
Goodness. So NiceJob has been in business, I believe, for about 10 years or so. We were acquired by our parent company, Paystone. But NiceJob itself has been around for a pretty long time.
Okay. And is it do you strictly perform this function as business in North America market, or is it worldwide or multiple countries? Where all does NiceJob serve?
That's a great question. We can be global. I say a vast majority of our clients are North American, US, Canada, things of that nature, and a little bit of Mexico as well. But we can have a global presence. So if you have teams across the world, or if you yourself are sitting somewhere that's not in that area, we can still support you.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I just think it's such a great company, and has done I'm a little biased because it's done a lot of great. It's helped me tremendously, and I don't mind that. I like to win. So
I love giving you ROI, Sid. That's why I do partnerships. This is why I'm here. The fact that, because my boss told me this, he said, Alex, you're gonna have people come up to you and say like, hey, personally, like, thank you and thank NiceJob for directly helping me. So I get a bit of a buzz off of that. And hopefully cool. the things that I do will help give that buzz to people that are end customers for your window washer or for any of the services that we're kind of speaking to.
Yeah. All right, good. So this might come up at the huge convention for you. So when I read your position as director of partnerships, the picture that popped in my mind is like, this guy gets to have a beer, have a coffee with everybody all the time. It's like, hey, let's talk about this. Come and sit down. You got a coffee? Oh, beer? Okay, good. And we are going to be at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a beautiful property, and there's a lot of beer there. And is that going to be like you speak once? NiceJob does have a booth, but you're going to be sitting at the booth with like, come sit down, have a beer. Let's talk about this. Let's be partnered.
I will be at the booth. I will be walking the grounds. If you want to have a beer with me, just don't let my manager see. But hey,
Yeah, we had a vendor a few years ago that brought a cooler into his booth, and when people would come and talk, he's like, "Here's a beer," and he'd give them a cold one, and it was great for the audience we have. But like the second that staff at the hotel find out, they're like, "This has to go," because you can't do that. He's like, I'm not selling them, just giving them away. But they're like, no, can't do that.
And I get the why behind that, but that's a really good idea. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, just come on over. We had a booth one year, and they brought like the little, like a child's easy bake oven or something, or maybe like there's a little oven you can get that's got a rotating thing and one heater. It's for heating pizza. Yeah. And they did that, and they just put cookie dough on it and let it spin, and they had a fan that would blow up the smell. And people were like, "Where are the cookies, man? Come find their booth." They weren't there to sell cookies; they give them away. But it just, any advantage you can have to get traffic to your booth, same as getting traffic to your website or anything else. Like, more eyeballs means more business.
Okay, so we're obviously gonna give a promotion to anybody that attends the Hughes convention. So if you want a buku discount on NiceJob, please come to our booth. Now you have convinced me to not only give everybody attending that, but also we should do like cookies or something. That is a phenomenal idea, and I'm a big eater. That's why I live in Wisconsin. So,
okay, great. Well, is there anything else that that you would like to hit on, whether it's about NiceJob or just about good business practices that are going to help people make more money before we wrap it up?
yeah, I'd say like first of all, thank you for having me. Please come watch me speak at Hughes Convention. Hopefully, I'll do great. And if not, you can laugh at me. The number one thing, if you do not remember anything that this person says in front of you right now, reviews are incredibly important. They are going to measurably change the ROI of your business. And I promise you, whether you use NiceJob, another reputation management platform, or even just tell your techs to ask once or twice, very similar to the flow that Sid laid out, it is going to change in a measurable amount. So I highly recommend it. And Sid, thank you so much for the time. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's really good to meet you. And I don't know if you noticed, I won't be able to pull it up fast enough. I noticed that I didn't have a headshot of you to put on the Facebook live screen, or the promotions on Facebook. But when I first read your name, I read it's Alexander Bonilla-Harris. And I read it and said Alexander Hamilton. And so I put a photo of Alexander Hamilton off the $10 bill as your headshot and promoted it. I said, is it Alexander Hamilton or Alexander Harris? It doesn't matter. Both of them are going to make you more money. Come to the live stream. So
genius.
There's a picture of Hamilton as portraying you on the internets right now.
I mean, that's right. We look very similar. So I totally see that.
When I did see your headshot, I did think of the lead actor from Alexander Hamilton, the musical. Yes. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is not a stretch. You got a couple of handsome dudes with the hair back like that. I'm like, what's up? This is it.
You'll see me. I'll show you a picture of me from grade school. They called me Obama at one point. You'll get a kick out of it. We'll have a good time when we are on site at the Hughes Convention.
Well, cool. Well, I'll see you a month from today in Nashville, Tennessee. I really appreciate your time and coming on to share some of the stuff. I learned stuff about the custom referral link that we can send out to, because I'm as crazy about asking for referrals as I am about reviews, but ours is a manual process right now. So you just help me automate something that we already are doing. And it's really great to meet you. Thank you very much for your time.
Right back at you. I'll see you in a month.
All right. See you then. Thanks.
Bye.